Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Peace be to you, my friends. Psychological time is a mental illness. You may say, what? How is that a mental illness? Time is good for us. Let's make a distinction here. There's clock time and psychological time. Clock time is useful for you want to get to a flight, you have a meeting, you want to schedule something or whatever. You want to time your runs or your workouts or whatever. That is clock time. It is useful. But psychological time is a dysfunction. And all of this that I'm speaking about, I learned from the teachings of Eckhart Tolle from his book The Power of Now, which I'll make a video about soon, hopefully. And so psychological time is a dysfunction. It takes us out of the most precious thing we have, our life, which can be found in the present moment. But most people, and I'm saying this without judgment, it's just a fact, most people, their life, what they see as their life, is not the life that they are, the life in the now, the aliveness of the present moment. That's not their life. Their life is their problems, the story in their head, their past, the so-called future. So if we're not careful, we will miss out on the most precious thing that we have, which is the now, the present moment. And the present moment is not just the things that are happening in the present moment. It's the space that allows everything to happen. If you want freedom, if you want the end of suffering, you have to put an end to psychological time and live in the now. You have to take that seemingly extreme step of living in the now, giving up psychological time. Because here's another thing. Time and mind go together. You can't have mind without time. And when I'm saying mind, I mean egoic mind. Egoic mind. Think of that. Think of what that means. Desires, fears, likes, dislikes, opinions, beliefs, and the emotions that come with it. Regret, grief, depression, boredom, anger, jealousy, and so on and so forth. The list goes on. So you can't have mind, egoic mind, without time. So when I say psychological time, that also means when we're living in psychological time, that also means we're living in our mind. We're not experiencing life as it's meant to be experienced. We're in our head. And the more you are projecting, always constantly projecting yourself into the future, anticipating it with hopes. Hopes can be good, yes, but also for many people the future is a cause for a lot of anxiety and stress. What's gonna happen to me? Will I make it? What if this happens? What if that happens? And so on and so forth. There's a lot of anticipation going on. If you look at your mind, you will see and observe your mind closely. You will see that most of the time you are either living in the past, viewing the present moment from the past, and that is what the mind does. It gives you a screen. It screens you, it veils you from the present moment, from reality. It only shows you everything that is available, but through the lens of the past. Rumi, the famous Sufi poet and teacher, said something like this, I'm paraphrasing. Time, the past and the future, are what veils us from God. Take the past and the future and burn them with a flame. That's deep. What it comes to say is we have to live in the now. We have to give up the psychological time. We have to stop living in our head. Stop creating more time by constantly thinking about the future, anticipating. Yes, you have something to plan out, plan it out. You have to think about it. That's constructive thinking. That's not pointless, negative thinking that makes you lose energy and focus and vitality and youth. So, putting an end to psychological time. How does that happen? First, you realize, you observe your mind, how much you are, realize how much you are actually living away from the now, whether it's in the past or the future. Just notice how much you are constantly, because the egoic mind is constantly projecting itself into the future. Constantly, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I want this to happen. I want that to happen. I don't want this. I don't want that. Oh no, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What if this? What if that? And then there are also the images that come with anticipation and even hopes and anxieties. There's that side, and then there's the past. Oh, you feel nostalgic towards the past. It was so better. But look deeper. Was it actually better? Were you actually fully present and joyful? Perhaps you may think, oh, I was much more happier back then. Things were better back then. Or the opposite. You think, my past is so horrible, I can't get over it. There was so much trauma and pain. But the only way to be free of all of that, whether you had a great past that you perceive of as great or a horrible past, the only way to get over it is to stop thinking about it, stop giving it your time and energy and focus, and instead focus on the now. Realize this is the greatest realization you can do. It's called the realization of the now. What does it mean? You realize that the past and the so-called future do not exist. How do they not exist? Because the past and the future are nothing but a thought in your head. Think about that. Really meditate on it. The past is just a thought in my head. It doesn't exist. It's not real. I only make it come alive because I think about it and I give it reality and energy and feelings. And so I'm absorbed in it. And I'm driven away from what's actually real and precious to me, the present moment. And the future, same thing. I'm giving it reality and energy and time and focus. I'm making it real in my head, but in reality, it's nothing but a thought. The future never comes. It only comes as the now, as the present moment. The past was only experienced as the present moment. And you can only think of the two in the present moment. So meditate on that. I think that's one of the greatest spiritual realizations. And it is a clear path to enlightenment and freedom and salvation. To realize that the past and the future is nothing but a thought in my head. In other words, time is an illusion. Time is unreal. Yes, we may understand that conceptually. Oh yes, be here now. The present moment is all there is. Time is an illusion. Okay, but can you really experience that? Can you get out of your head and into life, into real life? And real life, I'm not talking about, the world and the events and your problems and this and that. Just being in your body, feeling the breath, using your senses, the sights, the sounds, the taste, the smell, the lights, everything, just life, and then just being present, allowing yourself to be present without the thinking mind. There is no unhappiness in the now. Unhappiness is only in time. If you observe your mind closely, you'll realize this, that unhappiness is only there when you are in time. In other words, when you are in the mind, the egoic mind. So stop identifying with the past and the future. Stop projecting yourself into the future and constantly thinking, remembering the past. If it comes up, let it come up, let it go. Don't be so absorbed in it. And put all your attention, give all your attention to the present moment. If you feel bored, understand that that's just an egoic pattern, because you're so used to living in time, living in the head, living in the mind. So now when you give your focus to the now, oh, there's nothing here. I'm bored, I feel empty. Let me distract myself. Let me think about the past or the future. Or let me do this and that. No, just be patient. Be present. Create space in your life. Invite the present moment. Invite presence into your life and awareness. If you find it hard to be present, just observe your mind and notice how much you are not present. Because when you observe your mind and realize how much you are not present, in that moment you are present, and slowly the clock time, not psychological time, the clock time you spend in the present moment, the duration you spend in the present moment will extend. That's my message for you today. I think this is a crucial lesson. If you get this, it's like you've got everything. Well, you may say, but the now, the present moment is unhappy for me. Why am I unhappy in the present moment? You say, there's no unhappiness in the now, but I'm unhappy in the now. Why is that? Because you're not really experiencing the now as it's meant to be experienced, purely with a clear mind. You're experiencing it through the mind, the ego, the egoic mind. In other words, you're still keeping time alive. You're still thinking about this and that. So let go of that and instead try to experience life naturally, without adding anything to it, without trying to make something out of it, without thinking. That's my message for you today. Really meditate on this. I think if you do that, your life will really change. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. Peace. And also, if you're interested, I've got books and coaching services, and if you want to support me and my channel, all of that information is in the description box below. Wishing you peace, love, and joy. Thank you. I'll see you next time.